Here we are today on another episode of The Intersection. This is a long time coming. I interviewed you before and it went really bad because of various reasons that I won't get into right now.
We won't talk about, right? Exactly. But we're here.
We're here.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a little intro.
I appreciate it.
Today I'm here with Q. Q is an artist manager and a creative director and a producer from videos to events and general creative production in many different facets. Q also is an artist manager. Ronnie Rage, Shigo Turbo.
Dakota Unique.
Oh yeah, you just signed a new artist.
Yep, just signed Dakota Unique at the end of last year, so we ended that one off. So yeah, it's going to be a good year.
You said you just flew them out from Atlanta?
Yeah, she's here. Yep, she just got here today. So probably by the time this airs, we'll have the video that we're going to be shooting. She's got a show tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be a working weekend. I'm sure by the time this airs, you'll have some new stuff that we just finished with Ronnie too. So it's going to be a good year. Shigo's got some new stuff coming out. So it's going to be a good year for the team.
What was your reason for bringing her to Chicago? Like, why did you guys think that was the move?
Well, Dakota's from East Chicago, Indiana. So, yeah, still similar to the area. So, the Gary, Hammond area. And a lot of those people still, come into the city to, break out and showcase into the scene. But then she moved to Atlanta, where she's been doing her thing, networking and stuff like that. But it was just kind of easier this time. She had a show here, and a lot of my resources are here. My videographer, my main videographer, actually, Paul Rocky, he's going to be doing the video. So we just had a lot more resources here in the city to do it, and she was already going to be here, so we figured, why not? We're going to knock it all out.
Got it, yeah, because you're already so tapped into Chicago that bringing her here, you could plug her into a lot of resources.
Exactly, and she's pretty tapped in down in Atlanta, too, so, we're going to swap that. I'm going to be going to Atlanta to be doing a lot of things with her as well. But the timing just kind of came out. I worked great with Paul. I knew that Paul could kind of execute the vision we wanted to go to for this video. And so I was like, why not? Let's just get it done.
Cool. Are you cool with talking about this general story of your life, like growing up and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I tell everybody I kind of grew up on I-94. My dad's family's from here. My mom's family's from Michigan. So my whole life, from being born to even now, I go back home all the time. But I was just on 94 back and forth as a kid. Then I moved to Michigan, kind of more permanently, going into middle school, high school, and stayed there for school. And then I came back to Chicago, let's say 5-6 years ago, to kind of just get back into things. As a kid, I couldn't tell you that I'd be doing this as a kid for sure, but I like to put things together and organize and construct different things. I used to get excited when we would go do family trips. I used to start packing months before, just
really months before.
Yeah, just being so excited.
Months is a long time for a
no,
kid.
seriously, weeks before my mom's. I mean, obviously the packing wouldn't, stay packed, but I just get so excited and have a bag ready and I need to take these things, and I think I just fell in love with amusement parks and putting together roller coasters, how they were put together. I used to watch the Travel Channel and how they would dissect how this amusement park was put together and that. And I think now that I'm older, I can see that that's kind of where my love for production kind of stemmed from. And then when I was in high school and getting out of high school, I had a lot of friends that were doing music, talented things, or just being creative. They were artists of some sorts. They were drawing, they were doing graphic design, they were actually doing music, producing and writing, rapping, singing, and I didn't have those artistic qualities as my friends did, but I always wanted to be in the music industry and just be surrounded by music and entertainment. It was kind of just a love for me, music was. And
you're drawn to it still?
Yeah, it was just growing up in the house, music was always playing, no matter what house I was in, my grandparents' house, my mom's house, it just literally didn't matter. And then the same with movies. My grandmother is she loves movies, and that's kind of our family bond. So I grew up just watching different movies and stuff like that. So I just naturally had a love for it, and I just didn't know quite how to insert myself into these things, not being the artist or being, you know, a music artist or a visual artist. So taking the back end of things, I had friends that were like, hey, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? And then once I started to understand that, you know, as a music manager or any type of producer or curator, you're just as important to the artist's, you know, career. Once I started to realize that,
Oh
I
yeah,
kind of understood that I still had a place in music and that I could still be around music and entertainment all the time.
in a really valuable way.
Yeah, man. So that was, once I figured that out, I think I kind of just got stuck to it and just ran with it after that.
Hmm. That's what's up. I'm curious to talk more about the artists that you manage and how that all started and like what you saw in them and what that means to you to be an artist manager.
Yeah. The artist management started, it was started back in Michigan. Like I said, I had friends that were, you know, doing, they were like music artists and I just wanted to help. And it's always, any artist that I've ever managed or like went into business with is always like been a friend at the beginning. It's just something that kind of was there. Now, obviously that can go one or two ways. It can go bad or good, but for me, it was just always, you know, I know this person, so I want us to have like a line of communication that's kind of different when you're, instead of just walking in and like now you're meeting someone new and you're opening business. So that has kind of been a foundation for me. Is just I always work with people that I'm comfortable with and that have been my friends or, you know, a part of my life in some sort. And then that's why I think me, Ronnie, Shigo, I mean, and Dakota. Now I just recently met Dakota within the last year, but we instantly we vibed, you know, very hard and had kind of this. We all three had the same passion, you know, for everything. They're very passionate about their careers. They take initiative into doing things, and I just want to work with them because without me, they're gonna succeed and they're gonna do the things that they're gonna do. So, and that's a great quality to have in a star, that they're gonna go find it, they're gonna go do it with or without someone there. So, the fact that they trust me to help them guide to that is amazing. So, that's kind of why our relationships, you know, are the way they are. It's just because we're already friends outside of that.
Yeah, it seems like you have fun with them in general.
All the
Like,
time, all the time.
see like Instagram, so you're on a boat and like
Yeah, bro. I swear, me and Shigo have the craziest of the adventures for sure out of all of them. But me and Ronnie too, we're just really, you know, Ronnie works with me here.
oh really?
Yeah, you know, I that was another. That's the thing too. That outside of music, I want any artist that I work with to succeed in whatever it is. So you know, if better opportunities come outside of music as well, I always put them in that room for that. And that's just a testament to just how I feel like they're my family. So besides, you know, getting their music career off the ground, if they're thinking about something else, I want to put them in that room for that as well.
Hmm. Speaking of Ronnie being here with you, you want to talk about where we are right now?
Yeah, so this is I work for a production agency, creative production agency. They're amazing. And basically what I do here is I'm a line producer slash production coordinator. And I kind of just am like a wingman to my executive producer. So whatever they need to get done, they're calling on me to do it and to make sure that I'm sheep herding everybody else to get it done. Then I also kind of deal with clients and talk to them and get whatever vision that they're seeing for a lot of their creative. You know, I get that over to our design team so that we can make sure that it's executed for them. So when they do have their presentations that they do, whether it's a sales meeting or their, you know, national, you know, they bring national leaders meetings and things like that. You know, we just make sure that it's there for them. We cover A to Z, live show production. So it also helps me being here. I learn a lot with working with, you know, this company, and I'm able to take that out into the field as well for my own freelance things. You know, there's certain equipment, people that you know, I'm not familiar with, or I wasn't before I started working here. And so it helps me a lot too to be able to balance both.
Hmm. Do you feel like that helps you apply knowledge to working with your artists as well?
Yeah, most definitely. Even though the clients are different, it helps me because I deal with like clients on a higher tier. So even if it's not my artist, I may have to bring them to people who are in a higher tier. And it helps me learn how to have relationships. with different people, and it helps me actually groom them. I think my relationships with people is my number one thing that I try to always make sure is up to par, no matter what.
Yeah, for
Even
sure.
if even if it's not a working relationship, I genuinely want to have a good relationship with people, to call on me for whatever, to talk, to vent. Um, and I think that working here, that helps me be able to polish that,
Mm,
that part of it, and be able to take that onto the field as well.
interesting. What do you think is particularly interesting or unique about each artist that you work with? Like, we could start with Shigo.
Yeah, that they're just themselves. They don't want to be anything besides themselves, and I think that that's a really good thing for each of the artists I work with, because in today's day and age, it's hard. It's very hard to not get distracted by the internet, or not to feel like you're not, really living up to these people's standards of what they
Mm-hmm.
want. And I think that that can also get kind of hard, just trying to be in the spotlight, because somebody's always watching or judging you or wanting you to do something this way. And I think every artist that I work with, they do it their way, and they're okay with criticism. They're okay with, someone saying, hey, maybe try it this way, or like do it this way. But at the end, they're going to do it
Mm-hmm.
their way, and they're comfortable in that, and they're comfortable trying something and be like, it didn't work, and still
Mm-hmm.
going back and
Right.
great. So I think with Shigo's really finding her sound, and like it's all coming together. Her pen is amazing. Like, her pen game is crazy, and she's really sharpening that, for real. And I really love that about Shigo, because it just gets better and better and better ever since
Mm-hmm.
I've met Shigo and started working with her as well. It's just every time she sends me something, it's just getting better. And with Ronnie's a very set into like who he is, and he's very, very comfortable with that. So, as you listen to Ronnie. Ronnie has sounds from all over. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you can put him in a room with anybody. I can play a Ronnie Rage song. I have like five. It doesn't matter what room I'm in. I can find a song that's going to be appropriate for the moment,
Mm-hmm.
appropriate for the room. And I think that that's a key to an artist as well. And Dakota, just as she goes, she's herself. I mean, like I said, all three of them are, but she is just like finding her sound and finding through it. And the thing I love about Dakota, she's very well at adapting. So if she's in certain rooms and she hears something, she can sound, closer and be inspired by this artist, but she can also go back into another room and do her own thing. She's going to take her spin on it. And being adaptive in this game is huge. It's a
Huge.
huge quality that you need to have. And she definitely has that. So that's one of the things that really attracts me her as an artist.
That's dope. That's what's up. I love artists who can be flexible with
Exactly.
their approach. They're not stuck in like, I have to be this kind of
Exactly.
artist.
Exactly. 'Cause you never know. And I think them knowing that, they all know too that this is turning into a career for them. It's not just a hobby. And they all know that things kind of can change, and that they'll have to start being uncomfortable with things, and being comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them kind of have that knowledge and understand that, and are ready to take those next steps, and which can be hard. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we live in the age of internet, where it's very hard to feel like, I
The
mean,
age of
I
internet.
yeah,
How do you feel about the age of internet?
I feel like it's kind of weird, because I didn't have internet too. So I'm in that age of like, I was going outside playing with on my bike and running around with my
Yeah.
friends, and then like having to come home and my mom being like, in an hour you need to come check in, and because I don't have a phone, and so I came through that era too. So I
I
don't
feel like
know.
I was born just before the age of internet. I was born in like 2000. So like my
Yeah.
initial childhood wasn't like super internet, but then
What,
it
you
like
had internet in 2000? What do you mean? You
but it
definitely
wasn't the
had the
same
yeah. It
thing. It
wasn't
was
it definitely not like these
like
kids. Oh
social
no,
media is
it's
like
nothing like
2012 and now these kids are
yeah,
like
yeah, no, for real. It's crazy. So I think it's just been a weird thing to see, like, just to go from that. But I mean, it's time, it's changing, and I think that's coming to be you have to be adaptive as
mm-hmm.
always. Um, Music wise, I love the era of like
Yeah.
going to get a CD,
Oh,
and like,
I thought you were gonna say something
nah,
else.
I like music of like
Uh-huh.
going to get a CD, and or maybe not being able to see your artist, all the artists that you like all the time. Like, now I feel like you can find a way to like make sure I go see this artist. But like, there were a lot of like you don't know where to go find your fit. Like Rick Ross, like I don't know where to go find him. And I say Rick Ross because my mom played him a lot growing up.
Really?
Yeah, my mom's a big Rick Ross fan.
How long has Rick Ross been putting out music?
What is this, 20? I would say about 15 years or so.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely through high school, Rick Ross was playing in my mom's car, like Jay-Z, Rick Ross. My mom didn't play 50 Cent. She liked the game. The game was hers, but 50 Cent was the first CD I ever bought with my own money.
Have you ever bought a CD from someone who's like outside, like trying to sell CDs?
Yeah, the bootlegging CDs. Yeah, like I would come out of I told my grandpa one time that we were at a store in Markham and we were coming out of it, the Apollo, and he was like, this guy was outside selling CDs, and my grandpa like just didn't understand. It was actually T-Pain's first album that I made him get for me. But
what about someone who's like, hey, get my mixtape, get my mixtape?
I don't think I ever have. Now that you say like a person I didn't know or that was like it wasn't a bootlegger. I don't think I ever have. But recently, not too long ago, I was downtown and the guy was like, he had a QR code. And I think that's another thing too. I think people are forgetting you can bring those certain things back. It's just about how you're doing that. He was outside hustle. He was like, can you, follow me on Spotify? And I think that's a hustle that like the new kids kind of don't have because they didn't have that moving around and trying to get it outside and connect with the people before it was getting tickets or before you have a show or before you can do any of that. Like I think a lot of people, a lot of artists don't forget, like you can get outside and you can connect with people before you have a show or before you have anything that's for you. Like you can get outside and go find that too. They don't always have to do that, but I think that was interesting to see like the new age in that, and he's doing something that somebody was doing, selling CDs. Actually, I think Dakota told me she was selling CDs at one point out of her car. So, I mean, I think, yeah, if you understand that side of it, it helps you kind of understand this side of music for sure.
I'm sure it is different every day and changes, but what does it mean to you to be an artist manager? Like, what does that mean on like a day-to-day basis?
Well, I'm here from like 9 to 5, usually. Actually, I kind of start earlier just because I'm an early bird. So, in the middle of like most of my day is working here at the agency, but I'll get up earlier just to kind of do things, for the artists, like stuff I maybe didn't get done the night before, or if I know I have a lot of meetings here, I'll try to get stuff done early, like send it out so they can be doing it. So when I have my meetings, they're kind of working on whatever they need to. And then after that, it's kind of just sheep herding, depending on where we are with what they're doing with their material. So right now, we're getting ready for a rollout with Dakota and Ronnie. So now it's like getting content together, putting that together, orchestrating that, making sure everybody's on point, whether it's getting them videographers, photographers, what do they need? And then after we figure out what we need, what's the plan and how we want to execute it, then that's just what we're doing. Now we're getting the content produced, doing shoot days. And then after that, it's more so the strategy, the post rollout. What are we doing to continue this look for you? What are we doing to continue to put you outside with this? So I'm helping them build a brand beyond their music. What can we do outside of your music? So that's kind of what it is. It's more of us just day-to-day talking. And then once we have that plan executed, we're finding ways to implement them in things. So I do a lot of events, obviously. So I try to find any way that I can implement in those events so that my artist is next to me, doing that. And I'm also putting them back outside. So it's more so just finding out, where they are, what we want to do. And I'm just here to help execute and guide it. So once they tell me something, I'm just shooting the gun and we're going for it.
Got it. I love that.
And that can go, it doesn't have to just be music either. Sometimes most of my day is telling my artist it's going to be okay. And that's a support is, that's a big, sometimes it has nothing to do. My day will consist of that. I would say 4 to 5 out of the 7 days is time managing between here and them. And then I have specific days for each of them where I'm kind of focused more on what each one's doing. But my day could have nothing to do with any content that they've done. And I've just been on the phone with them, telling them that it's going to be okay. Or, telling them that since they don't want to do this song, empowering them to do another song. Like Ronnie, he has so many different genres that he touches and do it. And it's like, he's never really kind of been scared that he doesn't want to do it, but sometimes when we do, like, is this a good thing? And I'm always like, let's do it, like, and that's part of my day too, is empowering my artists to be the better version of themselves, to let them know that if they need a mental break, I'm all for a mental break because I take them myself. I have to come to them and say, hey man, been I got a lot going on and I just need a second. So some of my days is just rubbing them on the back and telling them it's gonna be okay.
That's what's up, because a lot of the time as an artist, you're like really in your head and you just need someone to like bounce off of,
Yeah,
to make
ideas
decisions
and stuff like
ideas.
that. Yeah, and a big thing of it is too is just kind of being like, okay, let's go do, like, really nudging the ideas that they have that they're not sure about. And it's
Reassurance.
like, yeah,
Like,
it's like,
let's
come on,
do
let's do
this.
it
Let's
then.
do this.
Let's just see, because and letting them know that if it doesn't work, like, we can do it this other way.
Yeah.
And in that reassurance to them, it's also a reassurance to me. Sometimes.
Tell us about 98 Views.
Yes, 98 Views. That's my
What
baby.
is 98 Views?
To be honest, bro, I couldn't even tell you at this point. There's been many of times where I'm like, okay, this is what I want to be. I want to be a production agency, or I want to be an artist management company. And there's been many of times with that. And I think to kind of set it in stone, I really wouldn't know to put anything on it. Yeah, it's just kind of wavy because I think it's a part of me. And until I continue to delegate certain tasks or have like a certain thing, I think it'll just always be kind of like, what's Q doing type of thing. But I do want to get it more like solid and like something more like concrete. But right now I would say it's more of a consulting agency because people come to me about a lot of things, and then I tell them how and what I can do to help. So people come, they need help for music, videos, for production of not just any type of content, event curation, creative direction, and artist management. I do manage my artists under that company. So 98 Views is kind of just, it's just a
like extension of your personal
brand.
It's
an extension. Yeah, and it's just kind of it's a cultural liaisoning company.
I like
to
that.
say. Yeah,
I like that description.
Yeah, that's kind of. I think, damn, that's kind of good. I kind of came up that one. So yeah, I think I would say that it's a company that is part of cultural liaisoning and just making sure everything kind of.
I like that.
Kind of it gets done and. But like you said, it is kind of an extension of my personal brand, which Follow My Q came out of. That was just needing a new Instagram handle. It really ended up being that kind of like Follow My Q, but follow me as I started leading people into different things. So yeah, and then it kind of just snowballed into its own self as well.
Wish I could do the DJ Khaled voice. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Another one. That's how we're doing it. Yeah. So that's kind of how I feel every time somebody hits me up or something. I'm like, yes, another one. So yeah. But that's what 98 Views is. It's a personal extension of me and
cultural liaison.
Yeah, cultural liaison. I kind of like that, man. I gotta trademark that or something. Yeah. Don't be stealing my stuff.
What is Don't Do Coke?
Don't Do Coke crew. Shout out to Meek and Ralph. So Don't Do Coke is a marketing agency, and with them, I'm partnering with myself. I actually work with Don't Do Coke as an artist manager. So I am a day-to-day manager for Dakota, who is signed to them, and we're just moving it like that. So they're a marketing agency that we work with, very, very, tight. And when I need some things done for internet, flyers, that's the marketing PR agency that we work through for that.
Do you feel like people who do Coke don't do Coke?
The company?
Yeah.
I mean, it's more so just it's almost one of those kind of like it's kind of just like a disclaimer, like just what's that meme, like, no matter how much fun we're having, don't pull any Coke out around me. It's kind of one of those things. No, but that stems from Shamika, who is another amazing Chicago artist. She was very known and prevalent in the 2012 drill movement and everything like that, under the same management. A lot of times it's like Dirk.
Really?
Yeah, she's very good friends.
She came up with them?
Yeah, and she's a great artist, great rapper, great singer too as well. She's very versatile, and also she's very great at marketing and understanding those things. So she owns that company, and her boyfriend Ralph too. He's a project manager for Don't Do Coke, and so with them, it's just Meek understands a lot of just how things work with marketing and how you're to engage with your crowd. And I think that was a big thing that I was missing. I was just so busy on the logistical things and like understanding just like how to get it done. As an artist manager, I wouldn't say I was having a problem, but that was a hump that I needed to get over to understand how to build brands and how to grab people's attention with my artists. So partnering with them really helps me understand. Meek teaches me so much every single day. I'm learning from her and Ralph on just how to market, our artists and to get everybody's attention onto what we need to do, what sides of town we should be breaking into. And Ralph is very analytic, so he helps me just look at things a long haul, like even when it comes like budgeting, he's just like, if you take this amount of money and you put it here and you let it stretch you for this, so they both teach me a lot of things. So I definitely don't do co-crew as their family, at this point. But yeah, we're locked in for real.
Shout out them. So I've talked to a lot of my guests about how Chicago is at this like inflection point in the next 5 years. A lot could come out of like the cultural scene and all type of stuff. How do you feel about like the Chicago creative scene in general and what you think might come out of it in like the next few years?
I think that it's on the rise. I think it just is starting to get that snowball peak back. I think it's like a second, like that 2012 wave that we were just saying. I think now we're hitting that peak again. I think it went up and a lot of valleys and highs for that. And I think now we're going back up into a high. And I think a lot of things are going to come out. I also think learning from that last 2012 crew and wave of things, the people that are still here that were a part of that did a lot. They seen where the disconnect happened. Like, I don't think Chicago really stood on Chicago's things. So now they understand, like, okay, we need infrastructure actually in the city. We need people to understand a lot more that they didn't understand then. 2012, I think people were trying to grab deals and leave, which understandably, because the people who did that, it wasn't kind of safe for them to be here in the city. But I think no matter what, people were like, I'm grabbing a deal and I'm out. And I think now people learn from that. And because you look and it's like, well, we don't have an infrastructure because everybody kind of left.
Everybody dipped.
Yeah. So I think now those people that are still here and that really, truly love the Chicago culture, truly should love.
They want to keep building.
They want to keep building here. They understand that. So I think that that's going to be the difference in this next wave of coming out is that people, they may still go places, but they understand that the foundation will always have to be here. So I think that'll be the big difference of how this next group comes out. I think they'll always reach back and grab a little bit quicker, than those older rappers that did that.
Are you excited about that?
I am really excited. There's a lot of people. I mean, not just the artists I manage. Like, I'm truly, truly super excited about a lot of Chicago artists.
Like extensive network and all the people that
Yeah, man. I mean, it's great. Sonny is one of those people.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Sonny. He has a great personality and he's so chill, but like his personality really comes alive in his music, and I think that's a great thing. I think he's a great artist. And a prime example of that, he stays true to himself, he stays true to the city, and he just snowballed it, and Lucky. I mean, obviously now Sonny's doing pretty good. It might not be that big of a difference, but
I went to middle school with Sonny.
Really?
Yeah.
You went to middle school? You went to school with a lot of great artists, like Cello.
He's in the same middle school.
Yeah, he's another artist that is just like like he left, but it's because he reached a peak here. Like, okay, let me see what I can do somewhere else. I don't think he'll ever just be like, F Chicago. It's just like
he's still gonna come back.
Yeah, you just kind of have to do that. So I'm super excited about a lot of artists that are coming up out of this new wave, and I do think that it'll be a good look for Chicago for sure.
Speaking of 2012 in middle school, it's like bopping on the table.
Yeah, it was
Chief
hot.
Keef.
And the thing is, back then I was at home. I turned 21 the week before or the week after Chief Keef dropped his first album. So the whole that spring, that Christmas break, and just like here, I heard nothing but Chief Keef, and I would come back here right for them, and all my cousins are like, that's all I'm hearing. And like, so to see when I'm here in the city, to see how much love, and I go to Michigan and then it's the same thing, that's when I knew it was gonna be different. I'm like, okay, this is like, it's a crazy wave. That drill wave was amazing to see, and I'm super excited to see it, it continue and be something different.
Different waves.
Yeah, exactly. I think this wave is going to shock a lot of people because it's not all drill. It's not
It's true. It's a lot
all
of
that.
different stuff.
Yeah, so many even R&B. I mean, you just have a lot of people that are doing great things. Like Jazz X, she's a great artist. She just moved to Atlanta, but I know she's back. I think she's back here in the city. Chanel True's another great R&B artist. I think there's a lot of different genres that are coming out too. And then you have people that are like Ronnie and Shigo that are like on this alternative wave too. So I think that's what's shocking a lot of different people. They don't they don't understand that, you know, Chicago has a lot of other things that are going on besides the drill wave, and it's a lot of things. But still, the drill is very still prominent, and Chicago is very known for that. And those people that are still going crazy in the drill are holding up to those standards of Chicago drill. Because I don't think I think if you're gonna do Chicago drill nowadays, it's in the history books. So you kind of gotta you gotta really stand. So I think like, you know, Mella Bucks, she's going crazy right now, and I think that I don't know, is DCG drill? I don't know, but they're going crazy too. I mean, they're
Speaking
still
of DCG,
they keep it.
I also went to middle school with my friend Chandrea, who's an A&R for
Dude,
DCG.
you're like what? You got all the 6 degrees of separation for sure in you, dude, and that's awesome too, and that's a great thing to have. Yeah, man. Shout out.
I went to a Babyface Ray concert with her.
Love Babyface Ray. I like, that's the thing too. It's like a lot of I love Detroit music. Babyface Ray, Skilla Baby. Pero Giovanni is one of my favorite Detroit artists. But yeah, man, I think music in general now is it's a good wave, and I'm enjoying it.
People gotta know that drill came from Chicago.
Drill came from Chicago. Hey, shout out to New York. I love the drill. Shout out to the UK. Y'all killing it. Rest in peace to Pop Smoke. Y'all doing the thing. But it started right here in Chicago.
I met this girl from the UK, and she was like, drill started in the UK. And I was like, no. She was like, yes, it did. I had to pull up the Google search. I was like,
yeah. And then, you know, drill is, you know, a part of, you know, juke music, and juke, you know, came from house. And this is all Chicago history. And shout out to me, too. I learned that from her, you know, that Chicago has a lot of music history that I don't think a lot of people kind of understand and see. So it's a rich music heritage, and so drill definitely started here, and it started from other stuff too. So
that's true. Chicago has a rich music history, and so all these new waves are like a combination.
Just a combination of both, bro. And so that's also a great thing that I love too. And the DJs are going crazy right now. There's a lot of great DJs right now that are doing a lot of great things out into the city. So, you know, those are things. And then you have the videographers that are helping bring this content, you know, up and out into it. So I just like my, you know, original wanting to get into the music industry, wanting to get into the entertainment. Like, these are people who I'm not a rapper, or they might have tried to start with music and then just realized, like, it's not it, you know. Or I like doing, like, how graphic designers now, you can be in the music industry, like, you make a lot of money from, you know, album covers and things like that. So these are all people who stemmed and, like, just had this just love for music, and now they're able to just, like, show that up. Yeah, they just do it. So yeah, I don't think you know, if it's not quite for you but you want to do that, I think you should just keep going and just see what you can do.
It's like you said at the very beginning, like, you can still have a love for music and be involved in it in a really valuable way.
Yeah, it's just sometimes you just got to figure out what and how that's supposed to be. I think the moment I really realized that I could do that was it was when Wiz Khalifa was dropping Day to Days. And have you ever seen a Day to Day? Gotta see a Day to Day. Go, I would say, like, season 2, season 3.
It's a show?
Yeah, it's a YouTube. It was a YouTube series, bro. And it was these Day to Days were like pieces. It was literally a day to day, and it was pieces like he'd be on tour or he'd be like recording his album, and then I was seeing like the back end of stuff. Like, I was seeing what his manager was doing. I was seeing how they're putting shows together, and I was like, even if I was just a cameraman, like, I could be on tour with my friend that's a music artist, you know. And then that's when I really started to realize, like, oh, there's a whole, like, putting this together, making sure that this video came out and was dropped, like, I could be that person. So I think watching the Wiz Khalifa Day to Days was my biggest it was like when it clicked to me, it was like, well, I don't have to just like I can find something to do in this industry, you know, and to be there. And now we know that more than anything that you don't have to just be an artist.
Absolutely. I feel like there's so many ways you can be involved in a lot of industries that like you know how when you're in school and they give you this paper and they're like, what career do you want? And
Yeah,
it's
seriously. And it was just like I have no idea. I used to want to be a pilot.
really?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like where it can go either way.
I
Like
could see you as a
I
pilot.
used to want to be a pilot. I used to want to go to the Navy. I used to want to be a pilot.
Really?
Yeah, and
Follow my plane.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
for real. You know what I'm saying? And then it just it went, you know, into this. A lot of life will happen. I think being able to pivot and just kind of understand that about life is a big thing too. You know, people will change, life change, people will leave, people come, go. But as long as you kind of stay true to yourself or just know something, you'll continue to find yourself through all of that.
Very true. You don't have to just one. I have to pick my
Yeah,
thing.
but it's hard because you got to think like you have family sometimes probably too who's like you're not going to school, you're not going to college,
Mm-hmm.
or you went to college but you only went for art or you went for business. Like, what are you really going to do with it? And then
Yeah.
you have friends that are like, you see them kind of doing this, and you're like, damn, I'm just kind of like staying here. But you can't lose sight of it. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of have to stay. So yeah, it can go either way. You have a lot of outside noise, and I think that staying true to yourself is the best way to keep moving.
Very true. I didn't go to school, and I remember I knew I didn't want to go to school by like junior year of high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember one time my parents were trying to tell me to go to college, and I got so frustrated that I like ran out the house in my underwear, and
Just was out of here. Like I'm gone, man. Like because it's just it's like like I don't have to do that. Luckily, my aunt went to school. She was like she made career school of careers. She told me that she was like because she went to school all over the world.
Oh wow.
And when I asked her why she did that, she was like, "Well, I was going to pay all this money to go to school here. Why not pay to go, you know, across the world to go see the world and experience something, you know, instead of paying all this money that people owe and they're in debt." And but she was kind of the only one that truly stuck to school and like made it happen.
There's nothing wrong with
There's
school.
nothing wrong with school at all.
Yeah, I
But
know.
it just my family. I say thank God because even her going to school. That's why I bring her up. She never was like you need to go to school. None of
Mm,
my family. They've never been like that with me
mm,
or like my little brother. Like we just been. It's kind of just don't be out here doing nothing kind of
mm,
thing. And you know, I watched my mom work a lot as a kid to kind of get me everything I wanted plus needed. I
mm.
never really went for much or needed much as a kid, so hard work and going to get it was just all I knew. So however that was going to be in school or if it was going to be out working, um, that's just all I knew was to just go get
Mm.
it.
You helped produce the album release party for SZA?
I did, yes, I did.
Can you tell us this story?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. One of my best friends, Emily Dahlquist, who got me really into big productions when I moved back into the city. She just always has pulled me onto things and like pulled me next to her, and I've just gotten to watch things just form out of nothing from with her. So I got a lot of experience with that, and she called me. She told me that you know they had hit her for the release party, and I was like, yeah, like whatever if you need anything, I don't know if you do, like that sounds great. Just let me know. I'm literally down to work for free. Don't care. It's SZA. I'm super excited about this album. She's like, yeah, I'll let you know. I think it was a day later. She hit me. She was like, okay, I kind of need you to help me with this. And then 2 days
Wow.
later, she was like, okay, no, I need all hands on deck. I need you to help. That was on. She told me Wednesday. I think by Friday, she was like, I really need your help. The next Tuesday, she was like, can you leave in the morning to come to LA? And I was like, yeah. So 5 days we're in LA. Nobody has seen the site or anything. None of us. And we don't know what we're kind of walking into. We finally get the venue. We get it. We had I would say altogether between the 2 days before show, we had maybe about 12 hours in the space. So we're seeing it kind of walking through with her security. And then Friday, you know, we had 10 hours to turn it into from nothing into
That's not a lot of time.
no, sir. Nope. It was load in, and that can happen anywhere. You know, that's a big part of production too. Is just kind of do it. But yeah, we had like 10 hours to be show ready, and ready to go, and that's what we were doing. And it was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to SZA and her team. They were great. We worked very closely with like her personal security and just like her personal team.
Was there a lot of security?
A lot of security. They kept adding security as we kept, like, the days we were there. They'd be like, okay, we can't have this, and a lot of things were moved around. Like Emily drew up a render of like, okay, hey, this is what we're looking, and then we get there and her security's like, oh no, like this can't be here, this can't be here,
What was it about the things that they didn't want?
Just like by like door entrances, like, okay, this needs to be blocked off, or like if we're gonna have this here, like I need an extra security. Like her security guard, shout out to him, he was so super cool. He'd just be like, add another security guard here, and we'd be like walking through, and he'd be like, oh, add one here, like as we're talking through it. And it was really cool. And like he was like, okay, but I think I want the seats here so then I can stand here. And it was like really cool. So it was just more so just for her safety and security,
mapping out the space.
so they can know where to go. I mean, we had the streets blocked off. We had like
presidential.
It was crazy. The guest list, like people were like, I'm friends with this person and this, and then it's like, dude, I can't get you in here. Like at one point, I just threw up my hands, like I don't.
They were trying
like,
to hit you with the I know
all
this
the time,
person.
bro. I'm like at one door, then I would like go to the front door to check on the list again, like because security was like, Q, like these people are saying this, and I'm like running between VIP and the regular doors. And
I'm friends with Drake,
bro. I kid you not. I kid you not. That's what it was. And so there were some people where I'm just like, no, bro. Like, there's nothing I could do. Like, I look behind me and it'd be somebody that was at the last door. I'm like, bro, like I told you, like nothing I could do. And then like I would be at another door, and security's like, that's Zendaya's that. Like I'm like, oh well, he's obviously getting here. Like, so it's like moving. People are like, you gonna let him in? And it's like, yes, I'm gonna let Zendaya's father in here. Like, what do you mean? So it's just stuff like that but it's intense, but it was fun. And I feel very honored and blessed for that. I feel like I was part of history because she went with like 11 weeks #1, and so I helped produce the release party for that. And she had a good time. She wasn't there very long, but she shouted us out and she said she had a great time and her team had a great time. And but it was still a lot of fun to do that. Shigo came.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's so that was a lot of fun for my friends to get to experience that with me as well. Her girlfriend Aurelie came, so that was a lot of fun.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I really.
I'm sure they appreciated that.
Yeah, anything I have, like
you involve
anything,
people, yeah,
even if it was for that, like that was Shigo needed to go and see that, probably bump some shoulders with people, talk to people, like who knows what she was going to be doing. I was so busy that I kind of didn't. We kicked it for a second, but I was so busy, but I just wanted to put her in that room and that opportunity, and I was like, I'm going. They're like, well, we're gonna come too, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
That's what's up.
So yeah, anything I have, my friends have. Doesn't matter what it is.
Did you meet like cool people while you were there? Like some interesting like.
Yeah, I met a lot of people. I met talking to. I met Punch at the end, who's her manager, but this co-founder of TDE. So we talked a little bit. And
oh, whoa, what?
Yeah,
I had to process that.
Yeah, Punch. No, yeah, Punch was cool. Punch is and I watch a lot of Punch's like interviews. Like I read a lot of things like articles he writes. So to kind of meet, I was a little bit more. I'm more starstruck by people in the back than more the artists sometimes, because these are the people I'm aspiring to be. You know what I mean? So like Punch, I'm aspiring to be a Punch. I'm aspiring to work like that. And so that was really cool to meet him. He had some good words, and we chopped it up for a second. But yeah, I met a lot of people. Elliot, can't remember his last name, but he worked at Double XL. He does Rap Radar interviews now. Yeah, the lighter skin.
Oh, he's on Rap Radar?
Yeah.
Is he one of the two co-hosts?
Yep, he's a lighter skin. Bro? Yeah, Elliot.
Wow.
So I don't know why I'm blanking on his last name right now, but yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so I met him, and that was super cool also.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, so it's like people. I told my friends, I'm like, I met Elliot and they're like, what? And I'm like, never mind. Like, but those are kind of the people. But I met a lot of cool artists too. Smino was there. That I met him. Coyle Ray, I met her. And Buddy, he's a rapper from LA. He's a really cool guy too, and I met him. Me and him chopped it up, I think, the longest. Like we were just really just back shooting the shit. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I met a lot of cool people. And I felt good. I felt good to be in that space. It was more so, I felt like, okay, I'm comfortable and I belong.
You belong here,
and now it kind of gave me one of those like, okay, I got it. I can do this. And
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate Emily, bringing me onto that project for sure.
That's dope for you.
Yeah, man.
The Rap Radar guy, that's cool.
Yeah, bro, that was really tight. I really, like I said, that really kind of had me like, oh, that's Elliot over there, and I'm not like that with a lot of artists.
You're not like that with people?
Not really.
Very particular people.
Yeah, like if I see Beyonce, I'm definitely gonna fall out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not really truly like a starstruck person, just because.
Same.
I feel like these should be my peers, kind of thing. Like,
Right.
And they're also just people,
Right.
just like me and you. It is cool that you get to do like a lot of stuff I want to do, and I understand like when people see artists and stuff like that. But I think because I try to put myself in such a mentality where it's like I want to work with these people.
Right,
and
you want to be cool with them.
Yeah, it's just like I don't
collaborate.
Yeah, like these are my peers. I aspire for these people to be my peers. Exactly.
Right,
so
right.
that's kind of how that goes with like real artists. But I'm definitely way more like executives. Like if I see Coach K, I probably fan out. Like shit like that from Quality Music. If I see P, it's stuff because like those are the people that my mind is kind of like trained to want to be like.
We told a whole story on another podcast with me and Solo.
I seen that. That is crazy, bro. But Coach K is tight for that, for coming out and like, yo, these kids came all the way. Were you there?
Yeah.
That is nuts, bro.
Well, they left me on the curb while they went in with Coach K.
Were you the only one they left?
Me and Solo's now manager, Sean, we were
the only two.
Upset.
Yeah, but it was like, hey, we gotta get the artists in here like to do it. But no, man, that sucks. But that's actually happened to me and a friend before, like story about Wiz Khalifa, which is crazy. I once again, because of that, I seen his manager Will. It was can't remember what the name of the tour, but it was a tour. It was him, A$AP Rocky, Burner, B.O.B., and Trinidad James, which at the time was a crazy lineup. And we got really close, and I seen Will and Sledgerin kind of like walking off the stage. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's Will. So, like, I take off, and my friends, the girls, they come, like, behind me. I was with another one of my buddies. And the girls are like, oh, you're Will. I'm like, you guys don't even know who he is. Like, you're trying to get in the back. But I was excited to see them. Like, these are behind-the-scenes people, And so my friend ended up exchanging numbers with Will. And they're like texting, and they're like, they said we can get on the bus. Now, I knew how this was going. I'm like, I'm with these beautiful girls, like they're getting on the bus. And I was trying to tell my friend, like, hey man, like I don't know how it's going, but like, just don't be excited. But he was way too excited, and he's like calling out my friends back home, like we're about to go meet Wiz. So we leave after the concert. We go. They're like, oh, they said meet us in the back. So we go to the back. And Will and Burner come out, and they talk to us for a second, and they're like, oh, we got to go handle something. We'll be right back. And then he texts. He's like, no disrespect to your friend, but we just want to kind of be the ladies on the bus. Now, I know how this goes just because it's like, come on, like, I know how this goes. So I'm like, so they're like, are you going to come? And like, I'm like, nah, because like, I just didn't want him to be by himself. And he drove us, so I'm just like, I don't know if y'all gonna have a ride, like if we all leave.
You're a good friend.
And I was like, I'm gonna go with my buddy, and they're like, they said girls, and I was like, obviously I know that, and I was like, but they're not looking for me to be on the bus. But it was cause like, you guys go have fun. But my man was like, hi, he was kind of pissed too. He was like, damn, but I'm like, I'm like, bro, if you were on the bus, would you want us on the bus too? Like, come on, like it's.
For Cello and them, they would have left me on the bus.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. They would have let. That's why I was telling them. I'm like, bro, he's gonna leave, y'all. Like, if I go with you, he's driving back to Michigan. Like, we're not gonna have a ride home. So it's best I just go and like diffuse this situation. But he was bummed. But I'm like, it'll come back around. And I'm sure you met, great people since then too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you met. Yeah, that's what I told him. It'll work it out. I know you were bummed at that time too, and I was too. I was like, damn, not meeting Wiz or Ty Dolla $ign, but it's cool. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I met some cool people in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. In between then, I'm sure he has too.
Speaking of the Rap Radar, I went to LA to see a live Rap Radar podcast with Kehlani, and then I went to see. Do you know who Sadhguru is? He's like a spiritual figure. Anyway, then I was at Soho like a month ago or 3 weeks ago, and I ran into Kehlani.
Here?
Yeah.
That's tight. That's what's up.
And it was random. So random.
Did you say what's up? Like, did you guys talk for a second?
I
That's what's up.
chopped it up with her for a second, and I was like, it was just.
Kehlani seems like a very like humble, like down to earth type of person.
Super.
Yeah, she seems like that. That'd be really dope to get to meet Kehlani. She seems really cool, really chill.
It's like, yo, I think you're a really incredible human
She's got,
being.
like, a
And you're
lot of
so
good energy.
unconventional, and I
Yeah.
really resonate with that. She's like, thank you.
Yeah,
And like,
dude. Nah, that's what's up. And I think that artists like to hear that a lot of time too, because it's just like, like we said, living in this internet age, it's like they just assume these people are just this type of way. But
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people, when I meet artists, they just be chilling, like smoking,
Yeah.
like they don't be having no type of like, obviously certain personalities match them, online. They're either like hype or not, but a lot of the time it's like it's perception. A lot of these artists are just, they have a job to do. So even it's just like when I come and you talk to clients, like sometimes I'm tired, but it's like you have a job to do. You still have to put that face on, like everything's good. And so it's the same way I think with artists. It's like, fans are their clients. It's like they still got to put a face on sometimes, but a lot of the times it's not.
They're just chilling.
They're just chilling. They don't want to. It's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, I like when artists are, down to meet, talk, kick it. But I also respect and understand if they're like, bro, I'm going home. Like, I'm not doing, like SZA. I knew SZA was going to be like that before. She talks about it all the time. She kind of has anxiety and she's a low social battery, and she says that she's just she's a normal person that just has these normal person things, and you guys want her to turn that off because you want something from her. Yeah, you want her to do something, but it's like that's not her.
SZA, I need
you have to be here all the time.
Yeah,
it's like no, and I was like, she's not gonna be here long. And even her security guard, he was like, I'm surprised she stayed as long as she did. Her mom was there, her dad was there, and I think that might have helped just having that comfortability. But she's already been very open about her mental state and just how she is with things. So you have to respect that when people are open and honest about that type of thing.
Absolutely, because you see, like, I'll see comments online, people talking about artists,
all the time.
and it's like they want something from them. They won't even let them be a regular person. Like, you better drop the fucking album or
Bro,
da 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 da.
It's crazy.
Like, how can you say you're a fan and you won't let them be them?
And sometimes I'm depends on the artist. Like Big Sean, he's one of my favorite rappers.
Me too.
And probably is my favorite rapper. And it's
really,
I guess it's starting to change as I get older because he was my favorite rapper. He's the first big concert I ever been to.
Really?
But it was it's because I started to see him develop as a person. That
right.
More than his music, he became, I guess, like one of my. I keep saying rapper because it's weird to be like he's one of my favorite people.
Right.
But that's truly kind of how it is.
That's
it like
true.
turned into him being like one of my favorite people to like learn from, and
that's
like
true.
A lot of my mental state and like how my mental health started to be important to me was because I was paying so much attention to Sean and just like the happiness and like reading the certain books and like manifesting and like understanding your energies.
You resonate with him as a person.
Resonated all together, and it was just like because he was saying like it's cool to be doing what I'm doing, but he gets burnt out, and like he just understood how the world was working, and so over time it became more. He was my favorite. He's a favorite person of mine versus a rapper because, it was because like, it was just a lot of things that he was saying that I just understood. And like, so meditating and all that stuff, I really got into that by watching and like being a fan of Sean's music. And then it just turned into real
Very
life.
Cool. It's not even like you're a fan of them per se, but you're just really enthusiastic about who they are.
Exactly, because when they open up like that, it makes you understand them a little bit more. And now I understand your music a little bit more. I understand why you're having these issues a little bit more.
You just want to kick it with them and collaborate.
Exactly, and like it's almost like a thing. I'm sure people feel that way about G Herbo here. When he
feel
put
that way about G Herbo.
Yeah, when he put PTSD out, it was like now he's opening up. A lot of these guys don't want to talk about a lot of the things that he's saying, or he understood a pivot, that there's a lot of things that he has to pivot to be able to be. I think Bibby understood that before anybody, that the pivot is very crucial to your career extending longer than you want.
I remember in high school, don't worry.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, dude, like, music was crazy, but you see how Herb was just like, or Bibby was like, like, I gotta pivot. I have to pivot. Something else has to change.
Maybe smart for that, but people be like, oh, he fell off. Da, da, da. They don't even know he pivoted.
Exactly, and those are the people that you kind of don't want to be around.
Yeah, exactly.
When they don't understand that.
Right.
It's kind of one of those things like, who said that? It was Playboy Cardi. He was like, I was on this. They was on this. You ever seen that video? He was like, now I'm here. And I'll send you the video. It's crazy. He's like in a hotel room, like telling his friends, like, he was like,
oh, I think I have.
Yeah, he was like, when there's people that just didn't get it, he was like, and at first it'd be like, I get what he was saying because it's like we're here. But then when I start to understand something and I go here and you're not here with me, that doesn't necessarily mean I change, but not like in a way of like hating you. It's just like we're not on the same thing anymore, you know? Like it's just how life kind of goes.
Absolutely. And like G Herbo makes very like thoughtful music. A lot of the stuff that he says in PTSD is real deep.
That's why I think I talked to my friend about. We were just talking about that. I'm like, can Herb make me think like he did in PTSD again on another album? And that's my personal challenge to Herb when I listen to his music now. It's like PTSD. He had everything on there. You know, he was making you think. He had some bangers on there. He had a really good album. So that I think was, you know, it's one of those moments when people open up and they talk about where they're at, mental health, and like how it's going, and you know, really they get vulnerable in their music. And I think when an artist gets vulnerable in their music, that becomes where you're like, yeah, like this is deep, and I like that. And I think that's another good thing about Ronnie too. This music, he's vulnerable in it. You know, he's vulnerable. He tells how he feels, his emotions, but he's okay with just seeing how it goes. You know,
right?
And I like
taking that risk to just see how
taking
it
risk,
goes and not be so overthinking people's judgment.
Yeah, dude, and that's a good, you know, that's a good thing to have because, like we were saying, it's internet, so there's a lot of outside things, but you just have to put blinders on, and you kind of just have to go. You have to just see what you can do, and because only you can carry you.
100%. We've talked about this a little bit, but you're generally, you know, very plugged into the Chicago creative scene. Do you have any like highlight moments or cool stuff you've seen over the years, or like any other people you want to shout out outside of your immediate circle? Or
highlight for me, or just like for me, I think is starting the Creatives Mingle. I think that's been like,
that was dope.
It's kind of like my baby. Yeah, you were at the last one. It's kind of been like my baby, and I plan on extending that, even doing it more.
Mingling.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's literally what I want. I want people to mingle. I want that connection we were talking about earlier, just like bringing that back to people and kind of making like an immersive thing. But that I think has been like my highlight. I think maybe because it's been something I've been able to continue as a series, that it's been a lot of, you know, fun for me and to see that grow. But I think that's been the highlight for me because that was something I kind of just thought out of thin air and executed, and it turned into something. And you know, I plan on having that in Atlanta this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I plan on you know, moving to New York with some things. So not me personally moving to New York, but moving some other shows and things to New York. Shout out to Monday, one of my favorite DJs. But yeah, so I think that's been a highlight for me, just having the Creatives Mingle be like a foundational home, and to be able to bring meeting all people of all sorts. Because just like 98 Views, I think that's a personal extension of me. I think that's a good thing that I have is a relationship with people. And that's one thing I love about myself, that I have a lot of friends that you know, met other people and they become friends through that. And I think
I love that.
I love that about myself. I think that's a great thing. So, you know, I want to continue to do that. So I think that's been a highlight for me. But honestly, shout out to really, honestly, all the artists and creatives in the city right now. I mean, we're really getting to it. Everybody's really putting in work and just trying to like better themselves. And I think everybody is just, they're all about, you know, home team right now. And I think that that's a great thing too. But not just here, you know, in Atlanta, you know, New York, LA, I've got friends all over in those areas kind of doing their thing too. So super excited to see what everybody can do.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Bro. I appreciate you, and this was a dope conversation.
Yeah, man. Always enjoy whenever let's do it again. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, bro.
Sounds good.